Testing, test, test, test. Hello. Loud. Kind of loud. Probably too loud. I never know if it is. I mean, I do, but... All right, test. I'm going to bump up my voice a touch. That should be enough. So as long as I don't talk and play at the same time. Okay, so this is a device called an industrial radio MIDI bass. This is a bass that is putting out MIDI along with its signal. You can see that there, stuff going on. I'm pointing that out because I have also done this with just a raw instrument and running it through Serum, which is what's happening right now. But this is working out as well as it is because it's basically cheating, because it's as much putting out just like a MIDI information as it is the sound. But Serum FX lets you put your input in through the noise input of the device, which means I can still use the audio to modulate the MIDI of what I'm playing at the same time. Which is why that works out that well. So this is what it sounds like with absolutely no bass input whatsoever. So this is just what is being triggered raw, which is still most of the sound. But you can see if I like go hard on it, like it doesn't actually change the sound. So that's the audio getting involved, but the audio, as much as it is in the signal, it's also being modulated from the signal and also modulating the signal. I'm also triggering the MIDI an octave lower than the bass is playing right now. This is what it would sound like if I were playing it at the right octave. It actually FMs too hard because I have tuned this to work with the lower octave. A lot of fun though. Still, that's where this is meant to live. So then I can also get the actual MIDI signal involved, or the bass signal involved, which is, I have it. This is actually a MIDI knob on this device. So this is basically what the bass sounds like. And to go over that, what's happening here is the bass signal is coming in here. It's being completely like cordoned off, and it's being ridiculously overpressed so that like all of what I am doing remains inside like regular expected behavior, so that when I set some modulations to be some stuff, it stays inside the range it's supposed to be. That's also just what that sounds like. This is just... There you go, bass. Cool, right? So then, like, here's no bass input, bass input. So, and now on top of that, so not on top of that, that just is that. So the signal's coming in through noise, you tell it to come in there, and then there's a level input. It's being modulated because you can do that, but also I'm modulating it with this. But what's also happening is that I have this wavetable, this oscillator here that I'm ring modulating. And that's basically the whole game, because that's how you're getting the noise to be inside an oscillator. And you could do stuff like FM it, because you can't process the noise directly that way. you can make stuff processed by the noise, but to make it so that like I'm like FMing the noise by another oscillator, I have to basically inject it into an oscillator, and that is accomplished through ring modulation. I wonder if I can like clone this. I guess I could just save this is what I'm doing. Argent, because I want to init this to show you what the process is for doing this. Bop. So by default, it's just on, and then at that point, it's basically using this like it's just an effects rack on that. But if I hit the noise and turn it on, then now it's coming into here. And it's coming in only when the note on is on. There's actually a note latch option here for when you're not using an instrument that has in there like that. But oh yeah. So someone asked, what does pick scrape sound like? And I'm actually using flat wound strings, so not like a lot, to be honest. The flat wound is actually the best way to do it for this tracking neck. Because if you're not familiar with what this is that all of these frets are chopped up into 4 lanes, and then there's electronic routing to detect what I'm on, which is how it knows what note I'm playing. That's how this thing works. It's extremely good at this job and way better than audio detection if you're doing bass notes, which is always a problem for like instruments like this. Because if you have a guitar, just a higher tune, you could just probably get like a thing that does a thing like that. But this is the most reliable way to get that done. So now, that's just that. That sounds cool. You can mess with it if I feel like it. But what if I want to make it mess with this? Here's a fun thing to do. Let's go and mess with the various AM and RM here, right? So AM does a fun thing where it'll basically layer it in there on top of the sine wave. Right now I'm triggering it. There he is. And then you can do that, which is so cool. Right. Okay, so you can see how these 4 lanes here are moving. That one's moving a little bit. That one's moving a little bit. If I want the pitch bend to actually follow, what I have to do is I have to link it to the made pitch like the entire way. And now it is following it. There's tension sensors in here that can sense when I'm bending the string and applies that to the pitch wheel in this case. I don't know what happened to these two, but they don't work anymore, but these two do. So this one's up here. But this it also puts out audio into like it has a big breakout box over here. And then all 4 of these have piezo pickups that are going out their own independent channels. And then here they are. And every one of these has one of these on it. You see that one's the top string. And it's just going out to modulate, and it's connected to these 4 macros. Which I have so far not done a lot with, because so far being able to just have MIDI and bass input at the same time has been kind of a life-changing experience. Anyway, I wanted to demonstrate what AM does, but if you go to RM and do the same thing, you can hear that the note actually is still in play, but you see that the note isn't like in the thing anymore. It actually is just a signal. But like the note is actually still in there. If you want to get rid of that completely, what you do is you make it a DC offset, and then now this is just the signal. But if you do that, certain things happen. Like, for example, if I go to FM it, nothing will happen. If I just, like, FM this by B. And the reason why is because it's not FMing, like, the waveform that's resulting as a result of the RM. It's FMing a flat line. So it's not happening. Like, just not doing it. And if I were using a regular instrument, that would be a big problem that I just have to live with. But because I'm using a MIDI-tracked instrument, I can actually just... Well, I ruined the sine wave, but let's go... Get that back. Yeah. So because I'm MIDI tracked, I can just play the note, and then I can FM the sound in real time. I'm FMing the bass signal by a note that's tracked with it. The future. Oh. What would happen if I did sync? No. I guess it works because there's a note underneath it. Because I basically do the same thing if I do this. No, it's not the same thing. Look at that. So it actually tracks the FM after this when it's oscillating, but not the sync. Yeah, so to get Serum FX, it's actually inside the one regular VST, and your DAW is supposed to recognize it as 2 VSTs. And FL didn't want to do that until I did a whole full scan and verify for the thing. All that trying to copy it and whatever, that was no, don't do that. Just scan and verify, and then it shows up. It says Serum FX. Look at that. Oh yeah, because I'm not tracking this. I have to remember to do that. I'm gonna do fun stuff like so that's pretty gross, but that's why I spent a long time trying to get this one particular preset to sound pretty good before I decided to do a stream about this, because it is difficult. So I got my oscillators. In this case, it's got a square wave that I'm ring modulating. So it's almost like the DC offset, but it's oscillating. That is being FM'd also by noise, but it's not being FM'd super hard. It's being FM'd by only being FM'd for, as you can see, it's being oscillated by one of these things. So this is something awesome about Serum, is that you can just drag these and just drop onto stuff, and it actually oscillates the thing that fast. So I actually don't even need AM on a parameter. I could just put it on the parameter. Okay, you're saying be screw when I'm playing it, and it's actually very hard to play this accurately, which is why you see me mostly slap, because that's like the easiest, most accurate way to play it if I'm not using the like literal radio pick, which doesn't have battery right now. Be reducing FM so it would stop waving around so much. So let's go full blast bass. So okay, all right. Right now, I'm gonna do that. Let's get the bridge involved. And now I'm gonna put it full blast into the audio. There's your pick scrape. Kind of hard to do that. Is there a threshold value on each string for the MIDI? Yes, there is. That's actually controlled inside here. There's a little screen on top here. It's kind of hard to see. And if you hold down a fret and then move this little switch on it, that's actually how you use the menu on this thing. And there is settings for everything. There's settings for like the attack, the decay, the dynamic weight. Have a thing for that. It's all, and then per string. Yeah, right. So like, you can do that. I typically don't mess with that though. And honestly, the settings that they set are pretty great. I'm still playing an octave down. Oh shit, I used to know how to play this. Oh shit, I'm too low for that. I could do it the other mode. I'm not 100% sure how Faceplant could do this. You might actually be able to do something similar with the snap heap or multipass situation. It has pitch tracking in it, which is kind of a fun thing you can throw at it. But you can't, I don't think you can get the audio involved with the synthesis unless you get it in there as a sample. Which was my plan before I got this to work. I was doing that. See, okay, here's how perfect I have to be, right? Because this is all note on off, like messages that the system's getting, right? So if I hit this and then hit this, but then like let go of that before I'm back down to there, if I'm not holding it right, it'll just note off. And then if I'm holding it, it won't care. It doesn't matter. It's still sending the message anyway. So there's actually lots of fun modes you could do with this that I'm not using right now. Like, for example, it is actually sending all these strings out on their own individual MIDI channel, which is just being smashed back down into just being one MIDI channel to use inside here. But that does mean I could have 4 different synths, 1 per string. And then there's a mode where it, like, you see how the situation works here with the 4 different strings. There's a mode that just puts MIDI on all 4 strings and it leaves it on. And it just doesn't do no on off at all. And then you're just expected to map that to level so that that's how it understands that you can play. And then, so you could basically use the string as a total controller, which is awesome as long as you want it to sound like a bass guitar, which is, like, I guess the point if you live like that. But I have noticed that if I get that involved, it just tends to limit whatever you're doing into sounding like string, which, like, yeah, cool, that was the point. Except really wasn't actually the point. And that's why I went really hard on like putting that like that so that we're not really getting a lot of the oscillation involved, because the main oscillation is the synth's job. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Ooh, that's fun. The future of instruments is honestly this kind of stuff. This is basically a super duper expensive version of that Rock Band guitar they made a long time ago. That basically had the same technology of like fret notation and stuff like that, so you could actually like learn songs. I got that instrument because it had that, and it sucks. It was really bad as a like an anything but a Rock Band instrument. It might have been great to learn guitar with that, but not to play, not at all. So that was, I mean, it cost $150. I should not have been so rough on it. I don't think this did not cost $150. So here's something fun. If I turn the bass all the way off, right? So now it's just synth, right? I have this other knob that puts in here. It basically turns the noise level up. This macro is mapped, or this macro right there. Yeah, it's mapped to this right there. And so if I turn it off, if I turn it all the way up, you're still not hearing the bass because the bass is off basically. But what you're hearing is the noise, the crazy high level cranking that I did on the system, on this, is still coming out of here and it's coming into there, and there's a level. It's in there. It's noise. And so I could just use the signal noise as noise. It's like I sent it through the guitar somehow. And then if I turn up the bass like even a little bit, there it is. very tone dependent. You want me to do a multi-sample thing with this? I guess we could, right? I'm gonna say this is another version of this. It's basically the same preset, but I actually, this whole project is basically a preset because of how like involved the setup is. So like even all of this has to be saved as like an entire thing every time I do it. All right, let's do that, and then let's go get. let's do. Oops. I mean, yeah, right. Eventually. See, I did try to layer together a guitar on top of this to do the full stack with just one instrument, but there are no like low enough tuned guitars that sound good. And just tuning it down does not work. I tried that. That's hilarious. I'm an octave down. All right, here we go. Ah! That's comedy. Oh my god. Okay, so right now I think it's let me play off. Yeah. So I don't have mono on, so that means I'm actually all for. God, that's creepy. Gotta sample some low guitars then. You're exactly correct. You're exactly correct. Let's get something slightly funner. Yeah. Ooh, every bassist dream. I mean, a little better than that, but you know what I mean. Woo. Right? It feels weird to hear like wood and stuff when I know there is none. Ah! Ah! It's because I have the headphones on too, so it's really getting in there. Get a little Vivaldi in there. Oh. Okay, hold on. Let's do this. Would it work with a bow? Not really. It's a very on-off. I mean, it technically it works. It works just fine. Like it'll do the thing. You know what? Shit. It should actually work exactly the way it should. If you were doing the imprint situation, if you were actually like, if you were doing the whole mapping all the macros to each voice situation, if you're doing that, then yeah, this would work on a bow with a bow. That's a really cool. I gotta get a bow. It's all right, like what? Ha ha ha! Wait, where's Jesus? Here we go. You ready? No one's ready. I'm not ready. I gotta get the Seinfeld bass sound, put it on here, and then learn how to play the Seinfeld bass sound on bass with the Seinfeld bass sound. I think I might end bass guitars forever if I do that. Some sort of bass singularity. What else would be a fun thing? Oh well, okay. So I guess let's go back to the main Argentry, since that is what we're doing. I'm not trying to save it. I'm trying to load it. I'm trying to load. I don't recall making this 4 voices. Jeez, that's loud. All right, I'm an octave up. Here's something fun. The tensions are mapped to all the oscillators, so even if I play on any other strings, I can still pull on the lower string to detune it. I'm playing the top string and I am bending the low string, and it works. I can map that to whatever I want. I could basically have these strings be modulation equals if I feel like it. Thank you, Serum, for letting me do this. This is way easier than trying to do it with the hardware, which is the only other way I can think to do this, other than having like extremely, like, you know, using. I guess I could have been using all of those modular hardware emulators, huh? The like VCV rack, probably Reactor. Now that I think about it, that could probably work out too, but this is way easier. Sufficiently evil sounding. Extremely budget Floyd Rose, right? So, all right, this was fun. Let's break out the guitar though, because I do actually have a patch loaded up for that. So what's interesting about that is that thing does not have MIDI tracking. So that means, it's the sanest way to do this. So that means I have to actually I can modulate and I can use it, but I can't tune any of the modulations beyond just putting them at a value and hoping that it works. But it still kind of does. Trying to kill myself. Okay. Turn this on. Unplug you from here. Plug it back in there. My good old trusty, unreasonably cheap 8-string, somehow. Extremely good instrument. Halo guitars. I think. Was that who it is? Yeah. There was this website. I mean, there still is. The website still exists, but it's not as good. Rondo Music. That's where I got this. It's ridiculously cheap instruments. Yeah. What's up, Pixie? You're going to want to watch the entire beginning of this later. Where the hell? Oh, oops. Need that. Right by that bass. That bass is from a company called Industrial Radio. If you Google Industrial Radio MIDI bass, you will find it. Excuse me. Don't mean to burp. Are we doing this? Or are we not? Oh, I have to set. No, it's in there. Oh, I don't have you on. No, you're on. I don't have you on. Oh, because you don't. There it is. Let's put you back to. So first of all, Doesn't that just sound like a totally regular and good like guitar tone? But now that I'm talking, let's hold on. Where's the limiter? Limiter. Oops, I missed. Boop, boop. There we go. Just so that when if I want to shut up, it can shut up. But like, this is a fun tone and all. It has some interesting things happening to it, but it also just has like it's like a basically good tone. To note, I am doing the whole like distortion into convolution, and I'm using a specific pack of convolution from a thing called God's Cabinet. If you just Google God's Cabinet IR, you'll find this pack. That's what this is. Ooh, did I change the levels on this? That's a little better. I really hope I didn't design that tone with the redlining. That'd be really annoying. It's actually really subtle, but you can hear that. Here it is. I have the diffuser on the thing, and it is being modulated. You can modulate the post effects with stuff from in here, but mostly I'm getting away with feedback, because here's a feedback trick. If you ring modulate like one of these output filters back onto a DC like this, it's just the signal. It's just the same signal, so you got feedback. I'm not even on the... And it's actually like super janked. I think it's because it's... So like I got these oscillators just here, and they're just at values. They're not like, I'm not playing notes because there are no notes to be playing. It's just there. Excuse me. But I'm modulating them by the guitar signal, so that's still, they're getting like, there's some chunk happening to it that's related to the signal, which is about as good as I could get out of this. I wonder what this sounds like not going through the cabinet. Like that. Woo. That's fun. So you hear there's actually a little bit of stereo going on, and there's a lot of stereo going on with the last patch too, and that's because I'm FMing the panning by the oscillators, and that does a really good job spreading things out. Mess around with that. IQ. Let's see what this like dry. How was that the default? There's that ringy dingy. The ringy dingy. This is actually pretty basic guitar pedal stuff. Like a lot of guitar pedals are doing this. This is what they do. Although what is fun that we can do is that we can use this. It's kind of modulating the high pass signal here. I'm also modulating the drive into distortion, and that's doing a lot to make the guitar tone actually sound like good, because that's what good distortion does for guitars, and that's not a thing that's typically available when working with this sort of thing. Does unison do anything here? Yes, it does. I really like this move down. Get my gain back. I'm getting my gain back. I like how the low value of this is. I know this is just like visual, like, oh, you're at the low end, you're at the high end, but like it's a red. It's showing red when you use all of the unison voices. It's like, are you sure? Whoa, guy, whoa, whoa. That's just really funny to me. Truthfully, though, if I were actually using this to do a thing, I would not be trying to modulate like pan to try and get like a good sounding, like automatically panned result. I would just be double tracking it like, you know, you're supposed to. I guess that means all you guys too. There should really be a dead zone there. Or I know even better, because you can just like, to go to 100, like double clicking should just go to 0. That's what I would do, but lots of people. So actually I did this a lot with the bass, but I haven't done this with this yet. Let's actually just like, wow, because just being able to modulate anything by anything anywhere, it really opens up a lot of like possibilities with some pretty regular stuff. Are you even using the filters? I am. Sometimes that happens. It is like the catch until you move the parameter. I was a little no, but kind of fun. I just don't want to modulate it that far is all. Like I just want to. And then like. That's kind of interesting. Whoa. The regularity of that twisting is giving me pause. Let's try. Yeah, that's way too far. A little harder for a regular instrument audio, isn't it? Well, that does have that trash touch. Wow. It kind of makes it sound blues cabby. I guess I just did extra convolution. I didn't really do much. Like I'm just doing more of what the convoluter does. What is doing that? Is that this? Something is like... Oh, it's these guys. Because there's only one note they are, so that means they're going to do their oscillation at that one speed forever. That. Yeah, that's better. Okay. That's fun. What else is so punchy? What's doing that? Oh, hello. That's funner. That would sound awesome in stereo. I wonder if I could cheat this. Not quite. That's a pretty extreme hit. That didn't do much. Let me try something. Oscillator C appears to be the one with the power there, so let's just add you in there too. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Sounds like bridge cables. To do it a little bit, but not a lot. Ha 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 ha. Did you guys just see it go right back to the same setting and have it fix itself? I guess I didn't go far enough. Oh my god. How rare is that? I am high passing that, right? Yeah, okay, that's why it's not as much garbage. Yeah, there's no getting away with faking padding. I'll have to double track. Double track life for life. I always know that's the answer. I always do, and I always try. It sounds like a gun. That's kind of fun. So if you're curious about tuning, I'm basically doing drop A, like 7-string drop A, and then here's E. You got E and A. Love that song. I just beefed most of it. Like, I would not have passed that if that were Guitar Hero. But I love that song. It's a Buckethead. What? No. I think, oh my God, I don't even know if I could play the most complicated song I ever learned, which was just, not in this tuning. I have to do it in A standard. It's Panic Attack by Dream Theater. Like sections of Panic Attack by Dream Theater. You know what I mean? So the other part that it does is really just, I could play it up here. Damn it. Like there's like, it was really like, it's the solo riff later where they're doing the type signature changes. I used to know how to play that, but I guess not anymore. So much versatility out of this one particular effect, the diffuser. How is it? Oh, because I'm holding the note. I'm like, how is it getting actual feedback from that? It helps that this guitar has an Evertune bridge. Let's do it here. It's keeping the strings in tune no matter what. Forever. It helps for this, so I can just like... Otherwise, that probably wouldn't come out as good. Dang. Yeah. Oh, it is a miracle. It is an absolute miracle, the guitar technology, especially when it just comes right around at this time. Because otherwise, I'd have to like pick like lightly the most insane amount of like pick intonation. Like if you have to do pick intonation, you're having a bad day. Damn, I like that. Like it's got that you know, we would talk about Doom all day, but like, you know, the Mick Gordon. Yeah. So this thing is doing its own distortion. This is all that's happening. This is just a gate. It's just there because I had accidentally overgained the signal before. I didn't really realize that. I have this very basic EQ that I tend to do that before guitar processing, and then yeah, it's just coming into here, where it is again being EQ'd, but it's because this stuff is involved, and then it's being distorted. It's being distorted by a thing I made myself, but that's not. It is the least complicated distortion in the universe, and it's mostly just really goddamn good, and that's why it sounds so good. It's just it just can do this. That's just how the damn. And yeah, and then I also have God's cab impulse responses. Yeah, this. Just Google that and you'll find these. And that's what I'm using. I'm using one of the MD421 dubers in there. Is there a way to PWM in there? Yes, there is. I can just set this to PWM in the warp. You know, because I know what we're actually trying to do. I'm going to do the real thing, which is go to the warp. Go to the warp, please. There we go. Go to asymmetry. And then the top. I don't even think I need to RM it. Oh yeah, I do, because it's not a note. That sounds like it. I didn't expect that to work that well. I did not. I was just doing it because I could think of it. What the hell? If I could pitch track that, oh my God. The guitar just sounds like that. That's an idea, actually. Pulse width modulator. I just literally just put a modulator, like an automation modulator onto the asymmetry, and it is putting the audio in there. Do you hear that? All right. All right, that's a little bit less than that. That's a bit more than I expected, but that's still pretty good. If I could pitch track that, oh my God. Sound like without the effects. Is there a way to just nuke the effects from in here? Like, can I just tell it to? I could just bypass them, I guess, but let's do that here. That's what it sounds like. Cued. That last step being the convolution, which is a lot of what makes a good guitar sim sound like a good guitar. No, that doesn't do anything. This does nothing to anything. That's so freaky. This would be the good, like, creepy background, like. We're just doing corn in the future. Future corn. The opposite is not as. I didn't make it a bipolar setting. That's funny. Which was you? Wow, what you are? Yeah. Wow. Okay, that actually that's okay. It's cat because I'll say hey, derp. But I wanted to do that too. I'll say a warp 2. There it is. Oh, wow. Why? Put on the other. I just put on the pickup inversion here. That's why. I don't know that. Which one to use? New plan. I had just enough of that juice in there. Interesting. Oh, so words on the spectrogram. I'm doing 2 wave candies. The lower one's actually doing a much lower quality vision, but it's just so that it's dark enough so that this higher quality one can be visible. Because otherwise it looks like that, and it's not the most like. So it's got 2 of them overlapping on each other. One's dark and one's not. I got Serum FX to work by doing a full verify and scan on the plugin database. Go over here and go to the thing. It says refresh fast scan. I'm gonna just go in there and then do find install plugins and then do verify, and then it'll show up. At least that's what it did to me. PWM idea was a really good one. I'll try that on the bass later. So brutal. That's like the evil Johnny Quest theme. Serum 2 FX takes audio either by default just straight through the effects without doing anything on here, or you turn on the noise and then it uses audio in as an option. And then it could just be used as a process. Like, you know, we got your RM through the thing. Like, you can do it from noise, and then that's how that works. So, like, the guitar is making that squish happen. The signal's actually whipping crap around, and it's doing it. I like that patch. I'm trying to build like a whole set. Like after this, I gotta do drums. And when I do, I'll try to actually make a track. Okay. Now we're back to Bassland, where we're doing the same thing but with MIDI tracked bass guitar. Oh, I'm going in with the guitar. I was like, where's the audio? That's better. So, for example, let's actually do this. Let's do the asymmetry. Turn off. I always forget how to do this. How do I switch? Damn it. Either way, whatever. That's not. It's not the last. Damn it. Damn it. Okay. Is that? Yes. Good. It puts it in the earliest available slot, like playlist style. Whew. It's more aperture science than Doom, but it's kind of neat. Put the octave back up. Put that back down. Get your heart out, Descent 2 fucking OST. So I put the filter on that, but let's not. Let's put you on that. Why would you do that? Okay, how is it doing the MIDI tracking? Primarily, I think this should make it pretty clear. I can get close enough. Okay, you see that fret? That is not shadows of strings on it. Those are sections. They are individually cut so that every one of these can be wired up so that it knows. Like capacitive touch style, because like you're touching the string, so then it knows what fret you're on. I can be really goddamn messy about it too. And then it does note on off on the piezos. It uses the piezo information per string to figure out, to do basically like drum triggering, but for the bass guitar. And that's just that's the note on off system. But the pitch tracking is absolutely just the neck. It is the neck basically being a keyboard. And on top of that, it has that tension sensing. So I can, but it only works on these two strings because I don't know what happened to these. Yes, these are somewhat expensive instruments. This neck, though, is something that you can get. I think that's its own element. That is so far beyond my like technical knowledge about this. But like this was on the to get list for me for like a decade before I got it, because like it costs a pretty penny, but also look at this thing out. This company that makes this also makes guitars. What's actually kind of fun is because I have it in mono mode on Serum over here, I can play a chord and get the modulation of the fact that I'm playing a chord from the audio, but still get the root note from the root note. Oh, juicy. Is there a Warmoth MIDI guitar next? I'm pretty sure that's what this is. This was mostly Warmoth stuff. The company that makes it gets it from that. That's what they say on the website anyway. Or is that the thing that they make? That might be the thing that they make, now that I think about it. It's been like a long time since I looked at the website, because I haven't been in a position to spend this kind of money in like about as long as I got it. All right, maximum bass. Too much bass. Perfect. Imagine trying to track that with audio. Imagine trying, you can see, you look at that. You're not going to track that with audio. I can do a MIDI out of Serum to Serum synth to stack sounds. Yeah, technically that's what that's for. A lot of things actually have MIDI outs that just have outs that don't need them. Like I think I could just straight up put one on, but I guess not for that. But actually, what that's really for is that this whole like writing system could output MIDI, and so that's really what that's for. But you're right. I could actually like have it trigger extra oscillators and have the audio go into that and have it like trigger it like it's a second part of it. Like I got 6 oscillators instead of 2, sort of. Yeah, it's not a reason that shouldn't work, I don't think. Where's my reverb? Here it is. That might be the most evil thing I've ever done with a bass guitar. I love that. Where can I find my new music? In an alternate universe. That's where. This would be a great thing to be using a foot pedal for. When your guitar tone is a freaking modulator. Interesting how the high notes are so subdued. That's because I put that reverb on kind of hard. There is a happy middle ground. What's up? Indeed, we are shenaniganing with the bass guitar, the MIDI bass. Well, like, okay, so Serum FX is enabling this new reality. It's not really, like, again, I could have done this. I could have done this with this stuff, this sort of. It's just, this is all so much easier. It's all right there. It all works. Like, without me having to, like, do a bunch of solves for things. I just hook up stuff. It works. Oh, a little much. Hello. Oh, FMing the chorus tuning. That's a fun idea. Let's use you for that. Still low, yeah. What a that got kind of weird, didn't it? There it is. Very in-your-face sound, isn't it? That's such a weird touch. That's a... Wow, that is a faithful PWM right there. Latency is flawless. I'm also running an intensely small buffer. Oh wow, it's a little bit bigger there. Yeah, but 128 samples. But it's got its own internal. It ups itself as it needs to with whatever you're connecting to it. But it feels pretty on to me. Does seem to like that better, doesn't it? Ooh, that's fun. That's much more BFGE. Oh man, that sucks. They're getting, wow. Well, there you go. There's a market now for some future instrumentation if someone wants to get into that. I did wish I got the 5-string version of this thing though, because then I could actually do proper down tuning instead of just like faking it. Because this is like liquid Argent, like when I do a full like regular like standard E tuning bass sound. Let's see if I can even play this. Okay, so the one big drawback about this is that if you play regular finger bass like this, the whole button down on the lower string triggers that note. It doesn't matter what you're playing. I was holding the energy there. Yeah, so that's why I like playing slap is like the most accurate way to do it. But I wrote this thing one time. But I played it really, really, really fast. I'm not sure I can actually play that without getting the fingers involved. No, I'll have to practice that a long time before I can be that accurate. Argent is such a great name for this as a genre because it's about doom and they called it that, but calling it Argent energy at all was hilarious because Arg, and then gent, the metal genre, Argent. Argent, yes. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed the stream today. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And as usual, have a nice day.